A new moon in Capricorn takes place on January 11th, 2013 at 11:44 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and 7:44 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. After the overwhelming release of emotional energy, along with the recommitment to tenacity of the Cancer full moon, the moon has now realigned itself on the other side of the Earth with the Capricorn Sun. This new moon in Capricorn conjoins the Sun and Pluto right as the water dragon loses its wings and claws and descends to the Earth dimension in the form of the Blackwater snake. The year of the Blackwater snake begins on February 10th, just 3 days before the beginning of a new galactic spin cycle under the red magnetic dragon, according to the Mayan moon calendar. The new moon rises and sets with the sun, highlighting harmony while in the midst of the gravity well that planetary conjunction creates as we reset our emotions. This is a time to set new short-term goals that will help you reach your long-term goals. This process helps you to reaffirm earlier commitments or provides the opportunity to get back on track with your intentions. Remember, this year is about setting intentions and reviewing outcomes over simply making New Year's resolutions. This new moon cycle provides the opportunity for us to take a hike with the time-traveling sea goat to our shared and personal peaks of progress and perfection. Fire of Earth Capricorn represents the initiating force of the hexahedron Earth sign continuum. Saturn-ruled Capricorn represents the node of strength, action, and creativity in the 120-degree trine that binds it with Virgo the Virgin and Taurus the Bull. This new moon in Capricorn is an intense time for beginnings, endings, and transformations as it aligns with the planets Mercury, Venus, and Pluto. This fierce alignment accentuates the emotional cleansing of the recent download of the Cancer full moon, while it continues the active expansion of consciousness and action of the recent new moon in Sagittarius. Venus is contributing to the ambitions of Capricorn, while at the same time getting us accustomed to turning perceived failures into bona fide successes. Mercury is giving us the power to communicate our ambitions and shed light on our resistance so that we may transmute our hopes, dreams, and desires from the dimension of thought into manifested reality. The gate of Capricorn is linked to the gate of the opposite side of the zodiac ecliptic, known as Cancer. In esoteric astrology, it is said that Cancer opens the door into incarnation, onto the tree of life, and into the human experience, creating the karmic-harmonic balance. Capricorn opens the door into the life of the spirit, into the dimension of the prime creator, revealing divine purpose and the function of the tether between the microcosm to the macrocosm. Cancer connects the soul to the world and the seeker's journey through the dimension of humanity. Capricorn facilitates a connection of the soul's higher octave to the divine after its expansion of consciousness in Sagittarius. This is the point when the ideas conceived in Aries actually manifest under Capricorn's Saturnian summit, creating synchronicity between human will and divine purpose. The spiritual explanation suggests that since Capricorn is located in the 10th house of the zodiac, it is therefore considered the gateway of ascension. Since Capricorn is the highest climber of the zodiac, occupying the noon position on the astro clock, one could easily see why this is the gateway of the initiate that has climbed or evolved enough to ascend to a higher realm. The celestial explanation is that since the sun moves as far north as it can to a point known as the Tropic of Cancer, this is considered the zenith of the sun in the northern hemisphere. The summer solstice in the northern hemisphere takes place between the 20th and 22nd of June. This is the first day of Cancer, and it is the highest the sun will rise in the sky at noon. The sun will stay at that height for 3 days before it begins its descent, ending with the equinox on the first day of Libra. At this point, the sun has moved away from the Tropic of Cancer and sits above another tropical point that divides the Earth in half, called the equator. The sun moves its furthest south when it arrives on the tropical point of Capricorn. The winter solstice and the sign of Capricorn usually begins on December 21st in the northern hemisphere. A reminder, for our friends and loved ones in the southern hemisphere, the solstices are reversed, so the winter solstice begins in June and the summer solstice begins in December. Perhaps Capricorn is considered the gateway of death because the sun appears not to move for 3 days. At this time, the sun is in the cross constellation and begins its journey northward on December 25th. The 23.5-degree tilt of the Earth causes the seasonal cycles that determine how far north or south of the equator that the sun appears. As the sun begins to travel northward, it reaches the vernal or spring equinox when it is located above the tropical point known as the equator. This is an imaginary line that divides the Earth and celestial sphere in half. Depending on how close you live to the equator, days and nights become of equal length. The equinox is always a good day to look at the Great Pyramids of Giza. On the equinoxes, you'll find that there are 8 sides to the Great Pyramid instead of just 4. In mythology, Capricorn is associated with Ptah, Ea, and Enki, teaching mankind to understand and learn using the intellect over brutality. Some accounts link this primordial connection to Capricorn to both the Nephilim and the Anunnaki. Alternative accounts to Abrahamic religions suggest that this is supposedly where man was given self-awareness. At one point in history, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces were considered to be a part of esoteric astrology.